Gurudev, Srila Gurudev. Jai Om Vishnupad, Paramhams Parivrajacharya, Ashtoda Sad Srimad Srila Abhaya Charnarabhram. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Gauriya Vaishnavrind ki Jai. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai. So today we'll be reading from Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled The Status Quo. Chapter 24, Renunciation of Kardama Muni. Today we'll be doing text number 31. So we'll all do Mangal Charan. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Utha Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vangsha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagvat Sevayat Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Mande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Text 31. Tanyevate bhirupani Tanyevate bhirupani Rupani Bhagavam Stava Rupani Bhagavam Stava Yani charochante Svajananamarupinah Svajananamarupinah Tanyevate birupani Evate birupani Rupani Bhagavam Stava Rupani Bhagavam Stava Yani Yani Charochante Charochante Svajananamarupinah Svajananamarupinah Vaishnavas Tanyevate birupani Rupani Bhagavam Stava Yani Yani Charochante Rupinah Birupani Rupani Bhagavam Stava Yani Yani Charochante Svajananamarupinah Tanyevate birupani Rupani Bhagavam Stava Yani Yani Charochante Svajananamarupinah Word for word Tani Those Eva Truly Te Yours Abhirupani Suitable Rupani Forms Bhagavan O Lord Tava Your Yani Yani Whichever Cha and Rochante are pleasing Svajananam to your own devotees Arupinah of one with no material form. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnavrind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. My dear Lord, although you have no material form, you have your own innumerable forms. They truly are your transcendental forms, which are pleasing to your devotees. Purport. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the Lord is one absolute, but He has ananta or innumerable forms. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam. The Lord is the original form, but still He has multi-forms. Those multi-forms are manifested by Him transcendentally, according to the tastes of His multi-devotees. It is understood that once Hanuman, the great devotee of Lord Ramachandra, said that he knew that Narayan, the husband of Lakshmi, and Ram, the husband of Sita, are one and the same, and that there is no difference between Lakshmi and Sita. But as for himself, he liked the form of Lord Ram. In a similar way, some devotees worship the original form of Krishna. When we say Krishna, we refer to all forms of the Lord. But not only Krishna, but Rama, Narsimha, Varaha, Narayana, etc. The varieties of transcendental forms exist simultaneously. That is also stated in the Brahma Samhita, Ramadi Murtisu, and then Nanavataram. He already exists in multi-forms, but none of the forms are material. Sridhar Swami has commented that Arupinaha, without form, means without material form. The Lord has form. Otherwise, how can it be stated here, Tanyeva te bhirupani rupani bhagavam stava. You have your form, but they are not material. Materially, you have no form. But spiritually, transcendentally, you have multiforms. Mayavadi philosophers cannot understand these transcendental forms of the Lord. And being disappointed, they say that the Supreme Lord is impersonal. But that is not a fact. Whenever there is form, there is a person. Many times in many Vedic literatures, the Lord is described as Purusha, which means the original form, the original enjoyer. The conclusion is that the Lord has no material form, and yet, according to the liking of different grades of devotees, He simultaneously exists in multiforms, such as Rama, Narsimha, Varaha, Narayana, and Mukunda. There are many thousands and thousands of forms, but they are all Vishnu Tattva, Krishna. Jai. Fired up, Srila Prabhupada. So here Srila Prabhupada has really gotten into the mood of rupas. So here we are saying, Tani eva te bhirupani, rupani bhagavam stava. He says, my dear Lord Krishna, you have many forms. Sometimes in the temple also, you'll see Radha Gopinath. Sometimes he looks a little chubby. Sometimes he looks a little thin. So you will see even here in the deity form, you can see Krishna in different forms. Sometimes you will see the way the pujari dresses Krishna. He looks very opulent. He looks like Vishnu. And sometimes he's dressed so simply like a cowherd boy. Right? Sometimes you will see this. You will feel, you're like, oh wow, today Krishna is looking like this. Today Krishna is looking like this. So different rupas. So the Srila Prabhupada explains very nicely that each rupa is based on what the devotee wants to see. So sometimes you may be thinking, I am not seeing Krishna. Because that's exactly what you want to see. But I wanted to see Krishna. No. What you want to see is what you see. So in this material manifestation, that is what you will observe. All of us, right? We are all sitting here chanting our 16 rounds and we feel very innocent. Who here doesn't feel innocent? I am so innocent. Right? I have not eaten any animal. I have not even eaten onion and garlic. I have not taken any intoxication, no tea or coffee. I am innocent. No gambling. No illicit sex. I am innocent. Right? And despite our innocence, what do we observe? What do we observe when we look generally in the material manifestation? Hatred, anger. So when we see these things, we should recognize, oh, so Krishna is showing me the forms that I need to see. That I desire to see. For you to be innocent, somebody else needs to be guilty. Does that make sense? If you're innocent, somebody else must be guilty, right? Imagine standing, amongst devotees. Imagine you're sitting upstairs in the ashram and you tell everybody, I'm vegetarian. People are like, yeah, so everyone here is vegetarian. Go back to sleep. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But now you're sitting in the pub and you announce, I am vegetarian. Oh, you are innocent. They are all guilty. So usually when we look at our innocence, it implies we are actually looking at the guilt of the world. So then we get to see the guilt. Does that make sense? We are seeing the guilt because we are considering ourselves to be innocent. But now, how are the acharyas seeing themselves? How is, Srila Prabhupada writing? You remember that Markine Bhagavata Dharma? Your most insignificant, fallen, wow. Srila Prabhupada is writing these words. Whenever I read that, I feel, oh man, this is fired up, man. Most insignificant, fallen devotee. Just imagine, Srila Prabhupada is calling himself that. Not just, oh, I'm a fallen devotee. No, most insignificant. Right? So that is how the acharyas are seeing themselves. So they are not seeing themselves as innocent. But we see ourselves as innocent, right? I am such an innocent devotee. I never harmed anyone. Why bad things are happening to me? Why? Why Krishna is showing me this rupa? Because we are considering ourselves innocent. So Krishna is then showing the rupa of guilt. If I'm innocent, what does that mean? Everybody else got a problem. You got a problem, you got a problem. Me, I'm very nice. I'm a very nice person. So that is how we have to start observing. Right? That is how we start seeing the world. Right? It's like, Srila Prabhupada gives that example of someone who has jaundice. For a person who has jaundice, sweet is terrible. Right? If something is sweet, it's terrible. The form of sweet, that form of sweet, for that person who has jaundice, takes a terrible form. But if you keep eating that form, eventually the jaundice disease goes away. So as we are getting thrashed in the material world, thrashed, you know how, when I'm thinking thrashing, what I'm thinking about that farmer. You know that farmer, in the Vietnam or India, somewhere in the, village where there isn't much equipment. He's picking the rice, the rice that he has just cut, fresh rice, harvested rice. And then he's taking a bunch and swinging it and smashing it so that the rice, comes out. The rice grain comes out. As we are getting thrashed like that, right? We should recognize that all of this is to remove our jaundice. All of this rupa is to remove that jaundice. Right? Now, by thrashing that rice paddy, one may be thinking, what a violent person. Right? Somebody may think the farmer is so violent, right? Look at the farmer who is thrashing the rice pad, and another side, a person with a big axe about to chop an animal's neck. Do you see any difference in the movement? Same, right? Swing, up on the shoulder, slam down. Right? Both are doing the same thing. Results are completely different. So for a devotee, that's how the hardship of the material manifestation comes out. That rupa, that's how we see it. Arjuna, he's sitting on the battlefield. Yes? He's sitting, and now he's looking at Krishna's, Virata Rupa. Rupani, right? Rupani Bhagavam Stava. He asks, my dear Krishna, I want to see your form. I wish to see that form of yours as a material manifestation. Krishna shows it. That form, Rupani Bhagavam Stava. When he sees that form, he's seeing everybody getting thrashed. Right? If you and me saw that form, you know what we would think? Guess. Krishna, you're not a good person. You're not. You know why? I'll tell you something interesting. Some of these scientists, Neil deGrasse Tyson, there are many famous scientists, right? They were asking this scientist, do you believe that there is God in this vast quantum of space where there are so many universes? Do you believe there is God? Like, do you believe such a thing? So, Neil deGrasse says that, and he's a scientist, he's saying, but, just consider, if you were to consider God is all good, and then you see the total destruction that is happening here, it doesn't make logical sense. Interesting, isn't it? That's his conclusion. His conclusion is, when you look at this material manifestation and the utter destruction that is there, he's a scientist and he understands that the material world is destructive. Right? Well, what are the two words Krishna uses in Bhagavad Gita? He says that it is Dukhalayam and Ashashvata. Dukhalayam means it is a place of terrible disaster and it is temporary. And funnily, Neil deGrasse uses these exact two definitions of the universe. Interesting, isn't it? And he's an atheistic science. He's telling that when I observe the material manifestation, when I look at, from whatever knowledge I have gathered, God cannot be responsible for it because he's meant to be all good. Now, this is the exact same conclusion we will come to if we were to observe the Virata Rupa of Krishna. If all of us were to observe it, we will come to this conclusion. Why? Because we are seeing the utter destruction. Why are we seeing that form of destruction? Because that is what we want to see. We want to see the destruction of knowledge. What is the true knowledge we are destroying? That we are the servants of Krishna. This is the original knowledge. Jiver Swarup Hoye Krishner Nityadas. If this is the original knowledge, now the destruction of this knowledge, right? The destruction of this knowledge is what we want. So everything around us is being destroyed. All material manifestation is being destroyed. Right? As I'm speaking to you, your hair is growing by 1 millimeter. Right? Every time you guys have to shave up, right? Every time you have to shave up. Why? Death on the head. This is all death, dead matter. We are carrying in our hair, we are styling it. Right? Yes. If you go to Woolies, there's a whole section dedicated to dead matter on your head. Gel, hairspray, cream. Dedicated to dead matter on your head. Every time a little bit is coming up. Not much. Right? One hair is falling off. You don't even realize your hairs are just falling off. Interesting, isn't it? That hair in your hand is always the same length. Isn't it? It doesn't go bigger than that. That's the exact length. That's how precise it is. It's just falling off, no recognition, and just growing back again. You don't know. You don't know which hair was there, which hair was not there. It is just happening. Right? Our skin cells, the rate at which the skin cells die is quite amazing. Amazing rate. Right? Now this is the Rupani. So this is the utter destruction that we are observing because we are failing to recognize that Krishna is the Supreme Lord and that I am His servant. So now this form, if we want to see this form, right? Now we are saying, well, but now I want to see this form where I am the servant of Krishna. Right? To see that form, the material world is now opening up. Right? It is destroying all our karmas. Something very interesting in Ramayana. I think I had mentioned this last time, that in Ramayana, I think Agastya Muni tells this to Lakshmana, that after the age of 14, right, anything you do, any activity you do, you're building karma for 10 generations. When I say 10 generations, means my 10 generations. My next 10 births. If I'm drinking a glass of water, my next 10 births are being set. If I'm punching someone, my next 10 births are being set. After the age of 14. Right? Any activity, good or bad, you build a well, 10 generations, my 10 births are being set up. How I will get it, in what way. So now, when you read in Nectar of Devotion, Bija, Prarabdha, Aprarabdhas, when you read all of that, now it makes sense. What do you mean by Bija? Any activity I am doing right now, okay, and so 14, I'm now 44, so it's been 43, 44, but it's been 30 years that, I've been accumulating for my next 10 janmas. Yes, just accumulating. So this we have to understand. This is the level at which our activities impact us. So now, if Krishna is unwinding all of that, so Krishna is unwinding the 10 janmas, and then this one, this final janma. This janma will be unwound when we die, it's finished, game over, right? But the other 10, we are trying to unwind that. So then naturally there will be some pain in this material manifestation. So this Rupani, this form of Krishna, we have to accept. This Rupani Bhagavam Stava. And it is very hard to accept the form of Krishna as the one who punishes us. Right? We like when we hear that Krishna, the Gopas and Gopis scream for help and Krishna immediately came, picked the Govardhan. That we accept. Let Krishna do service for us. Krishna, lift the Govardhan. So we don't mind that form of Krishna. But the part where we have to do service, we struggle. This is our struggle. That's okay. Right? Every single one of us is struggling with this idea. And eventually, through our process, and which process? Yani cha rochante. Yeah? Yani cha rochante. We need to start seeing happiness in these small things. When you feel completely crazy, you're thinking everything is going wrong, you start laughing. Right? You're like, it's called madness, right? You're like, everything's just getting destroyed. Right? So that rochanti, even that little bit of happiness, you must think of Krishna. Oh yes. Because otherwise the material world is very good at destroying our things. Right? Small things, right? You have to go renew your license. Oh God, now you have to go stand in service NSW line, take a token, and then wait, your token number, you're checking. You see, so much anxiety builds for a small activity. Right? And then you have to go fill the form, so many questions, and finally you do it. Finally, you get, that license. And that also nowadays they don't give immediately. They say we post it to you. Right? So you don't get it. But at least when you finish, you're like, I have finished. That one moment, Rochanti, thank you Krishna, it's done. Right? Finished. This activity over. So that small moments of happiness, think of Krishna. Especially when you get that plate of prasadam. Right? You've all woken up in the morning, you've done your Mangalarti, you've done your due diligence. Right? Some of you luckily got Mahasweet, some didn't. So now the 9 o'clock prasad will come. That prasadam, when we are tasting, we get satisfaction. We feel, yes. Yani yani rochanti. We should think, this is so amazing. Sharira avidya jal. Chodendriya tahe kal. Jibe phale vishaya sagare. Oh man. Taramate jibha ati. Lobhamai sudurmati. Take jita Sri Kathin Samsare. So we are telling, so much problem. Krishna bado dayamay. Krishna, you are dayamay. Karivare jibha jaye. Sau prasada anna dilo bhai. Se anna amrita pao. Radha Krishna guna gao. Now you may be thinking, hang on. If I'm getting this amrita, if I'm tasting, how am I singing? Isn't it? Right? If I'm tasting, then how am I doing Radha Krishna Gunagao? By your yani yani cha rochanti. That satisfaction, you ascribe that to Krishna. Right? That satisfaction. We were traveling. Right? We were traveling, not able to eat. Finally you get something. When you are eating, you're like, Gopinath. Got something. Chewing. Sometimes, you may be out and then you want to drink water. You're not able to find the bubbler, right? You're just not able to find the bubbler. You're like, where's the bubbler gone? Can't find, looking everywhere. And finally you see from distance something protruding from the ground. And then you run in slow motion towards the bubbler. That satisfaction, ascribe that to Krishna. Krishna gave something. And then you press the bubbler, no water comes. What to do? That's material world. Sharira vidya jal. That is the avidya jal. Right? So what to do? But Radha Krishna Gunagao. So that is our taste. That is our yani yani cha rochanti. We want to feel that taste. That happiness. Oh yes, there is something. Otherwise, if we are only concentrating on the destruction, what happens is we forget to taste Krishna's happiness. Right? We are only seeing destruction, right? Everybody's there. This guy shouted at me. That guy's not talking to me. This fellow, I don't know what, he slapped me the other day. What's going on? Everybody is against me. Right? You feel terrible. But then that small satisfaction that you get, ascribe it to Krishna. And by doing so, by doing such an activity, we can start seeing that all our karmas are getting destroyed and I'm beginning to feel happy in Krishna consciousness. Right? Otherwise, believe me or not, we are all practicing devotees. So we all have bad habits. Right? You will be sleep in the ashram. And in the ashram, the devotee starts snoring. Right? And then at that time you are thinking, Vangsha kalpataru bhyascha, kripa sindhu evacha. That this kripa sindhu, this snoring, this kripa sindhu, when will it stop? When will the roars of this ocean wave stop? It's extraordinary sometimes, right? You're trying to but these are Vaishnava, I can't take it. I can't take it. Right? So it happens. These things happen. So believe me or not, we are all got bad habits from the smallest to the biggest. All of us have bad habits. Right? Sometimes you'll be thinking, this guy, he never looks at me, this fellow doesn't do like this. Yes, that's true. It's actually true. Your realizations are true. But then your realizations of happiness are also true. Right? That happiness is true. I don't know how many of you feel this, but when you get that plate of prasad, you feel happy or not? When they put it in your hand, and then when it comes on your hand, and you feel that little heat transfer in your hand. You got your little paradise. Is it? You feel. Yeah. So that happiness. Krishna, thanks. So nice. So that is how yani cha rochanti. We need to be able to see in whichever format. Yena kena. I forgot. Yena tena prakarena. Right? Somehow the yani, somehow or the other, whichever format, you get to see happiness. And if we see that, we start genuinely enjoying our Krishna consciousness. Right? Because, believe it or not, all the people have said whatever to you. When you get that prasadam, when you're eating it, you really feel happy at that time. Believe it or not. You are happy. You are satisfied. Really. All that, I want to go to the pub. I want to dance. I want to be a billionaire. I want to take over the world. But when that food touches the tummy, that satisfaction, right? That satisfaction is for everyone. With the richest person, poorest, everybody gets that satisfaction. So, Radha Krishna Gunagao. That is the only way to survive in this material manifestation. Because otherwise, Dukhalayam Ashashvata. This place is filled with misery. Filled. And it is temporary. Now, why I'm saying it's temporary is just about when you think, okay, I am used to this pain. I have a headache. Okay, I've got used to this pain. Then you get body ache. Huh? It's temporary. Just about when he got used to one thing, something else started. Huh? Prabhu, I was asking him, how was his Vrindavan trip? He was telling me, so many people. And I was sick. So I was like, yes, correct. Yes. I remember going to Vrindavan and I was, doing parikrama. I was telling Dad, we'll, have fun today. Vrindavan parikrama, see all the temples. And then the last, half kilometer, I couldn't walk anymore because, so many, small stones had, pierced my foot sole. I couldn't put my foot down. My leg was swollen. I said, Dad, I'm taking the rickshaw home. Then I took the rickshaw home and then went home, took a small, bucket of hot water and put my foot down. Then my dad was looking at me. You wanted to enjoy in Vrindavan, nah? Only one person enjoys in Vrindavan. Krishna. I was like, okay, I got enjoy in Vrindavan. Only one person enjoys in Vrindavan. Well, that was funny, My dad, I was laughing and laughing. I was like, okay, now I got it. Enjoy in Vrindavan. Go to MVT, have pizza. That's why you came. But we struggle. So the idea here is material manifestation is a struggle. But if you can just, in this entire shloka, we just focus on the third line. Yani cha rochanti. We need to find happiness here. And that happiness must be the form of Krishna. Rupani bhagavam stava. Not that, I deserve this. I worked so hard. I got my plate of prasad. No. If you do that, if you're linking that, then it's not going to pan out. No. We have to say, I was, hungry. I got my plate of prasadam. Now that Rupani, this is Krishna. What work did you do that you got Krishna in your hand? Really? You did that good work? I broomed the ashram today. So your brooming of ashram means you get Krishna? Do you think that is the equal, balancing act? That every action has an equal and opposite reaction? Do you think that's the equality? It's not. It's not equal. Every spoon that you're eating, it is not equal to what you have done for lifetimes. You see, that doesn't equate. It doesn't equate. So that's how we start becoming humble. Right? Okay. So that is why when Srila Prabhupada is writing, your most insignificant and fallen, lowly servant. Right? And then you've seen that beautiful signature of Srila Prabhupada, right? What a beautiful signature. This is jalebi. I see, look at jalebi. You're hungry now, right? Everybody's eating. Even I'm feeling hungry now talking of prasadam. But this, swajananam arupina. He says, this is swajana. You've heard the term sajjana? So here the words swajana. Now the word Svajana is very unique. Svajana means Krishna's devotees. Are you understanding? Sajjana means you are a good person. Sajjana, you are a good person. But Svajana means you are Krishna's devotees. So when you read Srila Prabhupada's translation, it's so beautiful, right? They truly are your transcendental forms which are pleasing to your devotees. Krishna's form is pleasing to his devotees. The demons don't like his form. Now do you know why the acharyas are happy in the material manifestation? They are happy. Why? Because they see this form of Krishna and they enjoy it. Srila Prabhupada was walking down, I think it was in New York, right? The Central Park. He was saying, let them work and build a park. We'll enjoy it. Because a lot of buildings around that, right? And everybody was working. Let them work and build a park. We'll enjoy it. One time they were saying, Srila Prabhupada was watching Charlie Chaplin. He's saying, this is very nice. Funny man. So they enjoy the material manifestation. But we are not able to understand this. For us, it's like, oh, brahmachari, sannyasi, enjoying the material world. Yeah, because it's Krishna. If you can see it as Krishna's form, you can enjoy it. Question is, how many of us can? That's the question. How many of us can see Rupani Bhagavam Stava? Can we see that form of Krishna in this material manifestation? No. Suddenly a bag of mangoes come there. Someone puts in front to Krishna. All of us are looking. Nice ripe mangoes for Gopinath. 3:30. I'll be there after the fruit offering. I'll be the first guy standing. I saw the mangoes in the morning. So this is us. We are not able to observe the material manifestation is Krishna's form. Now, Sankhya Yoga, this Sankhya philosophy that Kapila Muni is going to describe, is going to make us see the material manifestation as Krishna's form. Are you understanding? This is Kapila Muni's greatness. This is Sankhya philosophy. Are you understanding? What is the Sankhya? That you can see Krishna in this material manifestation. So again, like I always like that scene, because I remember, the reason I always like this scene is I remember in the hostel once we had a big fight. And so I still remember the slow motion. When this guy's hand was coming slowly towards my face, it is ascribed in my head in slow motion. As that is coming, you're like, Gopinath. You are able to see the form of Krishna in that. Right? That is why the warriors, Arjuna, he's able to fight. He's able to kill a lot of people and still be a devotee. Right? Most people here, if they start killing, PTSD, trauma, stress. How come Arjuna and the Pandavas didn't have any trauma and stress? How come? It's something to consider, right? How come they didn't have PTSD? They killed a lot of people. Of all the people, Bhima should definitely be having PTSD. Right? He drank Dusashan's blood. Like, that's something, mate. If you have read Mahabharata, right? That chunk of that, Yuddha Kanda. It's phenomenal. The first Kanda is Bhima, right? Yeah. Bhishma. Bhishma Kanda. So, first 11 days, then, the Duryodhan Kanda, like that. All the warriors die out. Right? So, in that Yuddha section, it's terrible how much killing happened. He didn't have PTSD. None of them did. Right? Why? Because they are taught patience. If you are taught patience, you can be a good warrior. Nowadays, if you see in the army soldiers, when they are nothing to do, they start doing drugs. Because they are not taught to be patient. Imagine I asked you, okay, stand there in front of the temple. Just stand there. Everyone is doing kirtan in here, Sri Prahlad ke, your job is to stand there. Just look around. Look for danger. That's your job. Everybody else is enjoying. How long do you think we can last? What's our level of patience? Not much. Not much. Nothing. Not much. Nothing. Right? So this idea is to be understood. That's why today morning when we were reading that, the Nectar of the Holy Name, what was Srila Prabhupada saying? The Sankirtan is enough. Right? All you need to do is Sankirtan, nothing else. But, I love that. But, Jiva Goswami has asked us to do this. so that we can get regulated. Because we are not regulated. We don't have the patience. We don't have the patience to do kirtan. We don't. So then, okay, do DD worship, do other things, clean the ashram, wait in line for prasadam. Then this all, otherwise kirtan is enough. You don't need anything else. So this idea we have to understand. So swajanam, the swajana, we have to start to see this manifestation as the swajanas, as Krishna's janas. Right? But because if we just see it not from Krishna's point of view, why everyone's hitting me? I didn't chant my rounds. My rounds were better than yours. I saw in the morning how you were chanting. I saw how you, I saw. How come I'm getting bad thing? Because then you're looking as a sajjana. You're saying sajjana means you did a good thing. I did a good deed, I'm a sajjana. No, we have to be swajana. We have to be Krishna's devotees. Then things work out. Alright, so we will end here. It's very beautiful. This is, now Kapila Muni is going to kickstart. The actual Sankhya is going to kick in. Right, so slowly now, right now, Kardama Muni, as a father, he is still glorifying his son. Right? So that beautiful is going to come very nicely now. How, and I didn't want to touch on that because I'm sure the following slokas, the speaker will touch on this, how a father is actually surrendering to a son. That's amazing. So, but that idea is going to come out, right? And now, Sankhya philosophy is going to kickstart. So yeah, we will end here. Devotees want to share something? It's 8:45. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, go for it.
I think this is one of the very few limited purports that are read.
Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada has written our schools. I think this is one of the straightforward
Yes.
purports and thrashes the Mayavada.
Yes, yeah.
So much. I think this just one single purport is enough if anybody wants to try Mayavada philosophy.
Yeah.
It gives such a beautiful explanation.
Yes.
And added to that, there's another line which Prabhupada beautifully guides. These multi-forms are manifested by him transcendentally,
Yes.
according to the taste of
Yes.
his multi-devotees.
Correct.
This is just awesome.
Yeah. It is explained that the incarnations of Krishna are his moods. Now, you may like certain moods. Right? You may like some mood, you may not like some mood. Right? Brahma, Indra, everyone is sitting there. Lakshmi is standing there. And they are saying, please, can someone calm Narasimhadev down? Lakshmi is like, not me. And there is a form called Lakshmi Narasimha. There is a form called Lakshmi Narasimha. In the 9 forms of Narasimhadev, one of the forms, Lakshmi Narasimha. It is there, the peaceful yoga form, right? It is there. It exists. But at that time, what he said, no, Prahlad, this is for you. So, one important thing is for each and every one of us, there is a particular form of Krishna that we all like, and that is only ours. Unique for us. Right? That's what we like. Right? And it's unique to us, and nobody else gets that. So that beauty is there. And so these are the multi-forms that Prabhu was referring to. Yeah, very nice. Anything else devotees want to share? Yes, Prabhu.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So you explained everything so nicely. But we can see we are practicing coffee, and if something goes wrong in our life, and we start blaming Krishna, so we cannot see Krishna's hand in it.
Yes.
So yeah, how can we start saying everything?
There's a very nice line. Okay, bhuke pet bhajan na hoite gopala. Bhuke pet bhajan na hoite gopala. Le teri kanthi, le teri mala. My dad says this. I really like this. So a guy is saying that with a hungry stomach, bhuke pet, what bhajan of Krishna can I do? Bhuke pet bhajan na hoite gopala. He says, my dear Gopala, my tummy is filled, empty, it's growling. How I can do your kirtan? Bhuke pet bhajan na hoite gopala. Le teri kanthi, le teri mala. Take your kanthi and take your mala. I'm not interested. So yes, it becomes like that for us. You're right. So sometimes in dealing with the material manifestation, we get to that point. But that's why I was trying to explain that if you can start seeing in all of these pains, you get satisfaction also. Right? You have to wake up in the morning and take a shower. Right? So that's hard. Believe me, that's hard. I know. But once you have finished taking the shower and you come out, right? And you have done. Now you're seeing the other guy standing in line. You're like, I did mine. I'm out. Now it's your turn. Right? So you get satisfaction. You do get satisfaction. It's not like you don't, you do. At that time, we have to remember Krishna. Radha Krishna Gunagao. At that time, you have to remember. That's the time to remember that, oh, this is also Krishna consciousness. Because otherwise, we get very focused instead of being self-realized, we become very selfish. Right? So we're like, well, this worked for me, but this didn't work for me. I woke up today at 3, but this guy also woke up at 3. How come he went in before me? There's small things, right? It irks us. Believe me, it irks us. But then slowly we have to wiggle. Okay, but the fact that I woke up at 3, that's amazing. Isn't that amazing? Yeah? Whenever I get up in the morning, I'm like, yes! I come out of bed, yes! I did it! I survived. I survived the night. It is explained in the night time. Right? The Yamarajas, the Yamadutas, the Rudra's boys roam around. You're in their realm then. Somehow you got out. Congratulations. Yes, you did it. Right? So you should be excited. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm telling you this, and right now if something weird happens, I'll be like, didn't work out. Didn't work out for me. But then if something works out immediately, yeah, that's nice. So we have to start seeing in yani. See, the word yani is very important. It means for any small thing. Yani. We have to start feeling happy about that. Anything else, Vaishnavas, want to share? Yes, Prabhu. Sure.
When we practice bhakti, we might come across some feelings of that we're a good person.
Yes, innocent.
Is there danger in that? Is danger in that we become a bit puffed up?
Yes. I mean, it's not puffed up. We feel innocent. We feel like Bambi, the beautiful deer. And we're thinking, I'm just a deer here and so many lions. So you are right. It's not about you being egoistic. It's just we start feeling very innocent. We think we are so innocent, right? Because sitting here, everyone's a vegetarian, right? So you feel innocent, right? You do feel innocent. And then you go out in the world and everyone has killed an animal and eaten right now. In their lunch boxes also they're carrying that. So you feel innocent. It's not like, so it's the Bambi effect. I would call it less egoistic, but it's more Bambi. And what happens then is that then we only start seeing the negativity in the material manifestation. And so the unfortunate part of that is the more negativity we see, eventually we will become extremely negative. So we need to start seeing happiness. Like, okay, I'm vegetarian. One time I was like this person. Maybe in my previous life I was like this person. But then, just like I am talking to this person, somebody else had talked to me. And this lifetime I became devotee. So, there has to be some hope there. We need to find some happiness there. Otherwise, negativity, you are right. Instead of being egoistic, we become highly negative. Very negative. And a negative devotee is a devotee. But then when you read the classifications, it is a mode of ignorance. In a mode of ignorance, that's where it's classified. This is in Canto 11, right? In Canto 11, Uddhava Gita, this is explained. Is it in? Yeah, I think it's in 11, yeah. That, different modes. Yeah. So negativity is one of the modes of ignorance. As a devotee, you're practicing bhakti. As a devotee, practicing bhakti in mode of ignorance. So yeah, it is possible. Yes, Prabhu.
You can elaborate about the multi-forms,
Yeah.
which is actually doing for the pleasure of the devotees.
Yes.
Can we actually conclude that as a practicing bhakta
Yeah.
will actually get maturity only when one comes to the Sharanagati of Radha Krishna?
I'm not catching it.
I mean,
I'm not catching it.
should we just concentrate at the end of the day only on Radha Govinda?
No. As Gaudiyas, we finally concentrate on the fact that we have to be devotee of a devotee. For us, that is our conclusion. But you are right. But then by doing that, you get to Krishna. But the variance in Gaudiya Vaishnavism and other Vaishnavism, so there are 4 schools, right? So there is 3 and then there is 1, right? There is us, the Gaudiyas, right? So in all the other 3, the focus is Radha Krishna as the supreme and this one. But in the variance is that we finally recognize it actually is the devotees that we need to surrender to. So we are Gaudiyas. We come from the Radharani line. So we are our view is far more nuanced. So it's actually us, learning that we have to actually deal with devotees. And then you're thinking, deal with this person, this guy. Have you seen how he speaks? Yes, you got to learn to deal with them. What to do? But just yesterday he kicked me. Yeah, what to do now? So you see, that's and it's a very tough journey. Believe me or not, Krishna consciousness is at an emotional level, Krishna consciousness is a very tough journey. Right? On the physical, you can do it. Right? Someone kicks you, you're like, I can take it. I can take it. I took cold shower, I can take a kick. I can take it. Right? So physically you can, but emotionally, very hard. Very hard to take it. So yeah. So to balance our emotion, that is why it's dasanu. That's why I say, no, you're going to have to associate with devotees. As hard as it is, okay, this devotee punched you, fine, okay, no problem. Fine, no, you deal with this one. This also punched you, okay, fine, deal with another one. But you're going to have to deal with devotees. And the problem with dealing with devotees is everyone's in Kali Yuga. You're in Kali Yuga, I'm in Kali Yuga. So, what do you do? Right? So, we are dealing with different grades. What to do? Yeah, Jai.
I went to, Vrajanath a few years back, and then when we saw the Lord's form was in Tirumanga home. Then I came out of this, room after the darshan. I came outside, the Lord is standing in the straight form,
Yeah.
Vrajanath form. I was confused, Lord, the posture, the straight, in the straight standing, and inside is the Lord is in Tirumanga home.
Tirumanga.
How is it possible?
Yeah.
I went again, I got darshan 7 times.
Yeah.
Then I was bewildered. How is this possible? Because he's a Guru, then I asked the local people. So he says, Pujari every day, he's decorating the Lord in different ways.
Correct.
So this is the beauty of the Lord. It's
Yeah.
like Jagannath.
Correct.
Jagannath,
Yes.
once in a year, Lord is decorated in different form.
Yes.
So this is the different form.
Yeah.
The sloka is
Yes.
for the satisfaction of the devotees.
Yes.
So this is the
Yes.
nice class. Thank
That's
you.
right. That's why you even see Gopinath, sometimes fat, sometimes thin. You get to see all the variances. Yes, you do. All right. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.